Here at NBC6, we, of course, are always keeping you up to date on the latest barbecue tips, as well as news, weather, and sports, all that good stuff.
But if you don't have cable, you can still watch us. We're on channels 19 and 58, or you can listen to us on the radio at 87.7 on your FM dial. And there's more news yet to come here on NBC6.
Here are Tony and Jennifer with a look at what's ahead right now at 6 o'clock.
Jackie and Steve, thank you. Police find an arsenal in the home of a South Florida teacher. Right now at 6 o'clock, from bullets to bombs, it's all part of a federal raid. We're going to have live details next.
The holiday weekend is underway, and you need to be careful on the roads and on the water. We have live team coverage.
It was a holiday tragedy 3 years ago. Now see how a South Florida city is back with a safe celebration.
And are some airbags safer than others? We will have details of a new airbag controversy.
Also, right now, we are live on the scene of a breaking story. A traffic argument may have led to gunfire. We've got the details coming up right now on NBC6.
You're watching WTVJ, NBC6, where the news comes first.
Machine guns, ammunition, and bombs, all found in the home of a South Florida teacher. Our top story on NBC6. Good evening, everyone. We'll have more on that story in just a moment.
But first, as I just mentioned, we have a breaking story coming down right now. Gunfire has just erupted on a South Florida road. Let's take a live look at the scene from Sky 6. It's happening on 27th Avenue in Miami, and Rob Pierce is live over the scene in Sky 6 to tell us what's going on, Rob.
Well, Jennifer, you see this van in the center part of the screen? That van apparently was involved, the driver of that van was involved in an altercation with another car on 21st Avenue and 21st Street and 27th Avenue. Apparently, there was some gunplay afterwards, after this altercation. Unfortunately, there is one fatality to report here. Apparently, one victim has died. You can see the person there laying at the railroad tracks. We are told that the shooter, the suspect in this situation, is under arrest or is in police custody. He apparently also received some type of injury during this altercation. Of course, this is all unfolding and details are very sketchy. We're not sure exactly what transpired, how this all came about, but you can see that the area is cordoned off here at 27th Avenue and 29th Street Northwest, just near the Miami International Airport. We're going to have more on this for you tonight at 11. For now, I'm photographer Rob Pierce reporting live in Sky 6.
Thank you, Rob. And of course, if any new information comes in before this newscast is over, we'll bring it to you. Now to our other top story. A 60-year-old teacher and his son have been arrested, and that's after police discover a stockpile of deadly weapons in their home. Weapons including pipe bombs, automatic guns, and high-powered rifles. Also in the house, a book on how to kill. NBC6 reporter Hank Tester is live at the house in South Dade. Hank?
Well, Tony, in this house right here, people were really quiet, didn't have much going on here in the neighborhood. Neighbors really didn't know them, but neighbors suspected that there was something going on. But what they suspected was some type of illegal car repair or car parts operation. Little did they know what the cops would find inside. Let's take a look. Some serious firepower and the makings for pipe bombs. This is just part of an arsenal taken from a South Dade home. What federal authorities uncovered might be a sophisticated weapons factory.
It was the machinery in the house, that lathes and things like that, that could manufacture the silencers.
Yes, silencers, favorites for mob hits. The ATF checking for connections with militias. And the pamphlets, one of them entitled How to Kill, another about Nazi uniforms. Arrested 60-year-old Stephen Chase and his 30-year-old son, Christopher. Stephen Chase is a veteran Dade County school teacher. His current assignment right here at the Kelsey L. Farr Elementary School.
99.999% of all teachers are unbelievably great people to work with kids. It's that 0.1% that destroys the image of 19,000 teachers.
The home that contained the walk-in closet arsenal was targeted by Metro cops because of reports of a chop shop operation.
Pretty certain that there was a chop shop operation, but we didn't realize or even think that there was any arms kind of problems there.
When the Metro cops came to investigate the alleged chop shop, they spotted the weapons, and they called the feds. Well, back here live in Southwest Dade, the Chases are out on bond tonight. They had no comment for us, and neither did their lawyer. We'll continue to cover this story in Southwest Dade. Hank Tester, NBC6.
And we should add, Hank, that Christopher and Stephen Chase were indicted on 5 counts of federal weapons charges, including the illegal manufacturing of automatic weapons.
Well, the 4th of July holiday weekend is now underway, and that means celebration and a lot of fireworks fun. It also means danger on the roads in South Florida, as well as trouble on the water. Well, tonight we're going to show you some live team coverage of this long holiday weekend. We're going to begin with NBC 6 reporter Rosie Gonzalez talking about driving dangers tonight. Rosie?
Jennifer, the 4th of July is considered one of the deadliest holidays when it comes to alcohol-related car crashes. In fact, during a 4-year period between 1991 and 1995, more than 1,500 people died on this holiday. And now at least one person who survived a drunk driving accident wants to spread the message to drivers and passengers alike to make responsible choices this weekend.
He and I argued about who would drive. I insisted that he was drunk. I got very angry. And he insisted that he was just fine. And so he wasn't stumbling, he wasn't mumbling, he wasn't doing all of those things that we picture drunk to be.
13 years ago, Mercy Rodriguez-Fowler made a choice to get in the car with her then-fiancé, who had been drinking, a choice that would put her in a wheelchair for life.
There were no other vehicle involved, thank God. He could have killed someone on the way. He just lost control of the car, smashed into a light post, and I was ejected, and I severed my spinal cord.
Still, Mercy doesn't consider herself a victim, although it was a drunk driver that changed her life forever. She has a party to attend this weekend to celebrate the 4th of July, but dreads having to get on the road knowing so many will not make responsible choices. For the past 5 years in Florida, the 4th of July and Memorial Day have been tied to 70 alcohol-related deaths on the road. Florida Highway Patrol officials say alcohol consumption on this weekend happens over a longer period of time, making it a deadly combination.
They go to the beach, or they go to a friend's house and they go to a party. You have a lot of non-drinkers that typically don't drink, but they drink because of parties and get-togethers, and then they drive home, they get involved in crashes.
Now, the Florida Highway Patrol is not announcing any DUI checkpoints for this weekend, so it really is up to all of us, once again, to measure our own choices. And again, we can never say this enough, if you've been drinking, do not get behind the wheel of a car, turn your keys over to someone else, or call a taxi cab. Now, for the dangers on the waterway, I turn things over to Keith Wilson. Keith?
Rosie, thank you very much. Officer Jensen here and other Florida Marine Patrol officers are going to crack down this weekend, cracking down on boaters that decide to take alcohol out onto waterways. Last year, 59 people died on waterways. This year, already 37 people have died. Florida Marine Patrol officers say this weekend they would rather not investigate any fatal accidents. Rob Clatterball enjoys getting on his boat as often as possible with his friend Daryl Lavalette, but both worry about boating this 4th of July weekend.
The drinking and driving and not having enough experience in operating marine vessels, watercraft included.
Last year, more people were killed on Florida waterways in July than any other month. Most accidents happen between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's why the Florida Marine Patrol will be out in force.
We are going to have concentrated units out here at Hallover and in other areas in Dade County. The evening shift, the 3 to 11 shift, is definitely going to have a DUI enforcement detail.
FMP officers are trying to prevent crashes like this one. A 6-year-old girl was left in a coma after a drunken boater hit the boat she was on. Officers hope increased patrols this weekend will prevent more accidents.
So if you're drinking in a boat this weekend, you're probably going to get stopped.
If you use a boat or a personal watercraft, make sure you're aware of what's around you and keep a safe distance between you and others on the water. Just last week, a woman was killed in Virginia Key after her personal watercraft and a boat collided.
If there's somebody out there that you're not comfortable being near, then go to another area, relocate your boat, your family.
Now, Officer Jensen and other Florida Marine Patrol officers do want people to have fun, but they also want you to be very careful while on waterways this 4th of July weekend. Reporting live in Miami, I'm Keith Wilson, NBC 6.
Always good advice, Keith. Thank you. And certainly one of the big questions is, will the weather cooperate for the holiday weekend?
Let's go to the Storm Center and Marty Skold. Marty?
Well, it looks like it's going to cooperate, but the big problem could be the heat. We are looking for very hot temperatures tomorrow. Sunshine early on, but afternoon storms could dampen some things later on in the afternoon. Our actual projected high around 94, 95 degrees, but the heat index value, that's what it will feel like to you out on the beach, out on the boat, closer to 110 degrees. Be careful on the heat, be careful in the storms. More on the forecast coming up later. Back to you.
Marty, thank you. 4th of July fireworks displays can also be dangerous. 3 years ago, you may recall this, something went terribly wrong at a fireworks show in Pompano Beach when an explosion killed a technician. Now, for the first time since that accident, Pompano is holding a pyrotechnics display, and so are several other cities. NBC 6 reporter Michael Williams is live at Port Everglades with more. Michael?
Tony, another company will handle Pompano Beach's display. Now, most folks will see their fireworks at area parks. Some are fancier, though. They'll be held offshore. You're seeing some of the work going on now. Pompano, Hollywood, and Fort Lauderdale will have offshore displays. You see some of the fireworks canisters being put on this barge, which will head out to sea tomorrow. It takes about 24 hours to set up a display that'll last less than a half hour, but the workers say it's all worth it, especially as safety is uppermost in their minds. Think of this barge as launch control, the place where fireworks shows are readied through meticulous planning. Bob Smith, a former Oakland Park policeman, is now coordinating this for Zambelli Fireworks, a 100-year-old company from Pennsylvania.
These are our mortar racks. These are what we load the explosives in to fire them. We put them all together and we'll put an electrical unit down in the center.
Each fireworks round or mortar goes into a canister, which is filled with black powder. Wires are attached to electrical boxes, and from behind a barricade at the end of the barge, the show will be fired by remote control. A signal will light this fuse.
And this is one of the reasons, and I'll show you why we choose to shoot these shows electronically.
Okay. They light it by remote control because when you light it by hand, there's no time to run for cover. 3 years ago on this Pompano Beach pier, a fireworks technician died after a defective rocket exploded. The fireworks were being lit by hand that night. This is home video of what happened.
Whoa. Oh.
Now, after a 3-year hiatus, Pompano's fireworks show is back to be run by a different company, Zambelli, from an offshore barge. A $5 million insurance plan is part of the deal. Workers here hope all the hard work pays off tomorrow night.
I get goosebumps. I just get goosebumps up and down listening to the people just scream and yell and clap, and then it's all worth it. It really is, putting all the sweat out like we do.
And hopefully everybody will think it's all worth it tomorrow night. As added precautions, they pack sand around the canisters. That way, if one of the fireworks displays malfunctions, the explosion is muffled. There will also, as required by law, be chase boats out offshore, fire and police personnel on board those. They're doing everything they can to make sure it's a safe and happy Independence Day full of fireworks. Reporting live from Port Everglades, Michael Williams, NBC 6.
All right, Michael, and still ahead this evening, we're going to take you back to the scene of a breaking story where a traffic dispute may have turned into a deadly shooting.
And I'm Willard Shepard. We'll tell you about passenger side airbags. Which ones are the very safest? We'll tell you the best for your vehicle.
Real-time closed captioning on NBC 6 News is brought to you by Rollodden, the original storm and security shutters.
Tired of bumper-to-bumper traffic? Sky 6 helps you avoid the jam. For accidents and road construction, Sky 6 shows you how to get around it. If driving around South Florida is driving you crazy, NBC 6 is your new solution. Sky 6 traffic reports, state-of-the-art equipment, and a bird's-eye view, so you can get to where you're going quicker. Sky 6 traffic. Live reports every day on Channel 6 News, where the news comes first.
We have more now on a breaking story. It appears that one person has been killed in a traffic dispute that got out of hand. Martha Sigalski is on the ground at the scene now. What's going on there, Martha?
Well, Jennifer, this story is breaking as we speak. I'm going to take you out to what police are looking into right now. This van, if Rudy Marshall could focus in on that van over there. Apparently, this traffic dispute involves this van. Let's go up to Sky 6, which is hovering above. Apparently, there is a red Blazer on the other side of this intersection. And what we know right now, apparently, is that there was some sort of traffic dispute. There was some sort of fight that happened with the driver, and then somehow this driver ended up being shot. He is dead in the middle of the intersection right now, but police say they are looking for a Lexus that is around here somewhere. Apparently, there are some people who were involved in this shooting were in the Lexus. The Lexus that at this hour, we don't know where it is, but we are hearing from Metro Dade that apparently the shooter is in custody. But again, at this hour, you can see police are on the scene. This is still developing. This happened about an hour ago. Now, we understand that apparently Miami police called in Metro-Dade for some emergency call that happened here. Metro-Dade is handling this right now. Someone from their department just got here, so we're going to go and get the very latest, and we'll bring it to you. Reporting live from Miami, I'm Martha Sagowski, NBC6.
Thank you for that update, Martha. This hurricane season, South Florida is getting some extra help to deal with emergencies. The new Broward County Emergency Operations Center opened its doors today in Plantation. The center is designed for any emergency, but in the event of a hurricane or a severe tropical storm, it will become the nerve center for rescue operations. Well, still to come, can one airbag be safer than another? Coming up next, one study says certain cars have better airbags, but is that really true? Details just ahead.
We'll be right back.
On the next Access Hollywood, Matthew Broderick, action hero?
It's a very deep Godzilla. We're no action in this one.
Kidding aside, the soft-spoken star reveals how he escaped from the clutches of the 200-foot monster.
I tried very hard to get myself ready to run.
Plus,
Hi, I'm Kelly Packard from Baywatch. Come make a splash with me on Access Hollywood.
meet the newest babe to grace the beaches of Baywatch. Next, Access Hollywood.
Access Hollywood, weeknights at 7 following NBC Nightly News on NBC6.
I'm Brian Williams. Tonight, what are your plans for summer vacation? For a lot of older Americans, it's no longer a matter of R&R. They're volunteering their time, energy, and money for a better good. Why the new trend? Join us for NBC Nightly News tonight.
A recent study shows that some cars have better airbags than others, but now several groups are disputing that finding, claiming there is no way to classify airbag safety. NBC6 anchor Willard Shepard is live with more on this controversy. Willard?
Well, Tony, there has been an awful lot of controversy, as we're all aware, about these passenger side airbags. But tonight, one study is coming out and showing that one type of these airbags is actually safer than others. There's a big difference in the way airbags deploy. The way they inflate can determine whether they will help or hurt you in an accident. That's what the study of passenger side airbags found. The researchers say some of the bags are safer than others.
There are dramatic differences in the performance of airbags on models on the road today, and the differences can save your life.
Experts say 43 people were killed by airbags that opened straight at passengers. Researchers say those findings indicate that the bags, which open directly or horizontally, are more dangerous than those that open vertically or towards the windshield. Automakers have installed millions of both types of airbags.
The real issue is how do you design that airbag so that the public is protected automatically. That was the whole purpose of airbags.
Not everyone agrees with the findings. A spokesman for the automotive industry says there's no evidence to support claims that one type of airbag is safer than another.
There are vehicles to which one type, vertical or horizontal, is much more well-suited than the others. So one can't look at the airbag itself, one has to look at the total system.
Now, because of problems with all airbags, if you have a child, here's the thing to do, and we've told you this for a long time now, make sure that the child is always in the back seat, then you won't have a problem. Reporting live in Miami, Willard Shepard, NBC6.
Willard, thank you. And as we know, it's we coming back into the studio here?
Yeah,
there we go. All right. As we know, it's a very hot weekend, and the holiday is upon us.
That's right. Let's check out how our weather is going to be. I know it's going to be hot, Marty. What about rain or thunderstorms?
Plenty of
some
them
today, huh?
Yeah, plenty of them. In fact, across our region right now, we are looking at showers and thunderstorms, and most locations across our area.
I think we're having some problems switching the cameras for some reason or another. So should we? Oh, no, there you are. Look at that.
Funny, we can see you right across the studio.
I think
the
might
switcher's
be some
locking
of
up.
the thunderstorms that are out there. In fact, we do have thunderstorms right now up in Broward County, have also developed in Dade County. Some of these are very intense indeed, and we'll be getting to that in just a moment. Let's take a look right now. Sawgrass Springs Middle School, our neighborhood weather net. Current temperature 84 degrees, feels more like 91. They're going to be picking up some heavy rain in just a moment as storms are heading in that direction. Let's take a look now on our Doppler radar. We've got a very big area of storms that has just developed now up in Broward County. Another area just to the west of Homestead. These developing in just the last few minutes. Very strong storms indeed. Here is US 27. Also, we've got Alligator Alley. These storms are pushing their way to the south. So we'll come from Broward County eventually down into Dade County. and showers and thunderstorms will continue across the region. Let's take a look at what we're talking about with temperatures right now. Hot temperatures, 91 degrees in Miami, 93 up in Fort Lauderdale, but you add in the humidity, it feels more like about 105 in some locations, and tomorrow, hang on, we could feel anywhere between 105 and 110 degrees. Now, what are we talking about as far as local weather tomorrow? A lot of heat, a lot of humidity, adding up those heat indices in the late afternoon hours between 105 and 110 degrees. Let's talk now about tropical weather. We are looking at what used to be Tropical Storm Ana is now just a depression, so there shouldn't be any problems with that. Winds out of the southwest for boaters tomorrow from around 10 knots, seas from 2 to 4 feet, surf temperature at 84 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, scattered storms with an overnight low of 78. Tomorrow, look at this, hot temperatures, sun and clouds, thunderstorms. The actual high tomorrow we're projecting near 95 degrees, but add in the humidity, it will feel more like 105 to 110. And that brings us to the point of heat exposure and heat stroke. So be very careful in the heat of the day. That usually ranges between 11 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock at night. So watch for the heat tomorrow, those late day storms, and hopefully you'll be able to get the picnic in, get out on the boat, and watch the fireworks.
All right, Marty, thank you. Well, certainly when you're making your weekend plans, South Beach, Las Olas, or Coconut Grove might be on the list, but there's a new hot spot in South Florida, and a lot of people don't even know about it. Coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, we're going to take you to one of the fastest growing areas for new shops and cafes. And South Florida goes sci-fi crazy, but movies aren't the only way for an out-of-this-world weekend. Find out more at 11 after ER.
Well, what would you do if you found a bundle of cash? Well, here's what one Fort Lauderdale woman did. Leo Dion Sant found $5,000 today while cleaning a room at the Fort Lauderdale Days Inn. She says she didn't even think about keeping the money. Instead, the maid turned in the cash at the front desk.
This is very refreshing to know that morals, values, principles do exist, and there is a lot of honest people around.
Well, the guests that left the $5,000 behind claimed that money today. They gave Sant a $200 reward.
Another great story to hear,
Absolutely. What an exciting day at Wimbledon, and a surprise as well.
Yeah, Joe Rose is coming up with all the sports next.
The NBC6 Neighborhood Weather Net is brought to you by Bell South, only on NBC6.
Well, the men's quarterfinals at Wimbledon featured two three-time champions squaring off at center court, top-seeded Pete Sampras and number 8 Boris Becker. But this one just didn't live up to the billing. Pete using the serve and volley to perfection, taking that first set 6-1. Becker tries to rally, also using the serve and volley, taking the second set 7-6. But Sampras is just too hot right now. Becker returns the backhand long on match point. Sampras wins it in 4 sets. Now, after the match, Becker said farewell to center court, announcing this would be his last Wimbledon. The three-time champ may still play in the U.S. Open, but will not enter any Grand Slam events next year.
And to come up against Pete in the quarterfinal, I felt like that, and how the match went, I realized I just don't have it anymore. What it takes to go all the way and win a championship like that.
Now Michael Steek advances to play Cedric Piolini. Sampras will face Todd Woodbridge in the semis. Women's semifinal action today. Top-seeded Martina Hingis facing Anya Kournikova. Hingis off to a hot start again, breaking Kournikova's serve 6 straight times. There's Sergei Fedorov on hand. I think he's in love, but things just too much on match point. Hingis takes it, advancing to the final 6-3 and 6-2. Yana Novotná was also a winner in straight sets over Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. She'll face Hingis in the women's finals on Saturday. Now keep it right here on NBC6 for the Wimbledon coverage all weekend, continuing tomorrow at noon. The ladies' final is Saturday, the men's championship on Sunday. Now the Marlins head to New York tonight for the Big Apple showdown with the Mets. Livan Hernandez is on the hill for Florida. Dennis Cook won't be on the hill for a little while. The Marlin reliever was suspended 2 games for throwing at Andres Galarraga on May 31st. Cook's suspension was originally 3 games, but after appealing it, it was cut to 2, only in baseball. Tiger Woods back on the course today in first-round action of the Western Open, sinking the birdie on 17 and finishing 5 under for the day. That's only one shot behind Mark O'Meara. O'Meara's 6 under par performance today, good enough for the tops on the leaderboard. And that will do it for sports. You guys have a great 4th of July tomorrow. Back to you.
I like that background music you put in there during the golf.
You know,
Really
Tony,
nice. It adds something to it. It really does.
Tony, we'll do anything just to kind of help sports a little bit. The music, we thought people would like that.
I did a nice job, Joe. Thank you.
I don't know, these just as only in baseball, but these altercations seem to be the rule of the day these days, don't they?
But only in baseball do they change the rules like every week.
That's right. You don't know from day to day, do you? Well, if you don't have cable and are having trouble watching us on NBC6, there are other options for you.
You can also see NBC6 on Channel 19 in West Broward, Channel 58 in North Dade and Central Broward. And you can listen to NBC6 on the radio by tuning into 87.7 on any FM dial. Meanwhile, South Florida is hosting a very special visitor this holiday weekend. The USS Tortuga is in town. The Navy ship docked at the Port of Miami today after a long trip from Virginia. The 400 crew vessel will be giving tours of the ship tomorrow from 10 in the morning to 3:30.
And there's going to be another open house on Saturday. NBC Nightly News is next. We'll see you after ER.